55% of Americans always or sometimes worry about money. And 70% of Americans actually live paycheck to paycheck. If you're like most Americans when it comes to buying a home and you have no clue of what you can afford. So if you're already worried about money and you have no idea what you can afford, that makes the process really stressful. That's why as a mortgage planning specialist, I walk my clients through a process to make sure that they can understand not only what they can afford, but what they're comfortable investing into a purchase. So really it's determining how much you can afford when you're buying a home. So there's really a 3-step process to determining this. Step 1, you got to set up a family budget. You need to know how much money you have coming in and how much money you have going out. You want to look at all of your checking, your savings, your credit card statements, create a master file. I have an additional video on helping you set up a budget. If you need that, comment below. Happy to share it. You want to know what is my after expenses as a survival number, we call it, meaning how much it takes you to survive each month, how much money do we have left over that we can look at investing into purchasing a home. So it's really important that you set up that family budget. Second, you want to know what is left over, how much of that can we invest into the purchase. And really when you determine this, you got to look at not just, okay, we have this much money left over. You really got to dive in deep and understand what are the things that we can remove that we no longer need to have that we had in the past and we're okay giving those up because we want to purchase a home, as well as is there any upcoming expenses coming up? Are you going to be paying for daycare? Do you have to get a new car? So you want to keep all of that in mind as you purchase a home as well. Then once you have that number, you really need to figure out, okay, now what are we willing to invest into the purchase? I think a lot of times people, when I ask them, what are you willing to pay for your mortgage payment or how much can you afford, and they don't know the number, it's because they don't know their finances, but also they don't understand the investment impact that it's having. They're used to paying rent. So if somebody's been paying rent of $1,800 a month, their first response may be, oh, well, we're comfortable at $1,800 a month. But you got to look at it from a return on investment standpoint as well. And what I mean by that is you're not just putting housing over your head. You're investing into an asset that's building wealth. So although you've been paying $1,800, you haven't been investing. So not only will you be paying your housing, you're also going to be investing as well. So if you paid $1,800 before, you weren't getting any return on that investment because the money was gone once you paid that rent check. When you purchase a home, part of it is for housing, but part of it is also building wealth, appreciation, paying down your principal in the home as well. So you got to make sure that you're understanding that too when you're making numbers, because I think the biggest mistake that people make is they have the mindset where it's fixed that I was only paying $1,800 a month and that's what I'm willing to pay for housing going forward. Well, I'll always be very honest and direct with my clients, and especially depending on where you're at in the market. If you're wanting to invest, it's going to take additional money to invest in the market to get a return. How much you're willing to invest is how much return of an investment that you're going to get as well. So it's really important to know what you're willing to invest as well into your future, into your net worth, into your portfolio, because it's no longer rent at this point. You're building equity, you're building wealth for your family and for your future retirement plans as well. So getting very clear on that as well is really important so that you can make that decision for yourself. We don't want to make that decision to push you into a situation you're not prepared for, because a home is an investment. It's not just putting housing over your head, you're also building wealth. So it's important to make that decision for yourself of what you're willing to invest. Now, I think it's really important to stress that it's having the right team on your side to help you with this path. A lot of times you may go to get a pre-approval and go with the loan officer, and they tell you you qualify for X, here's your payment, here's your out-of-pocket, and that's great, you could purchase a home. But if you don't have the right mortgage strategies, if you don't have the right team, if you don't have the right education, you could be losing out on a ton of future net worth, a ton of equity, a ton of support to help you on that next step. On my team, not only do we help you with the right mortgage planning strategies as a certified mortgage planning specialist, but we also help you with what's next. How do you protect your assets? What's estate planning? How do you build wealth? How do you set up a budget? How do you fix credit? All of those things our team can help support you to make sure that not only you're in a good position to purchase your home, you're in the best position always going forward. We not only hold your hand through the process, but we also continue our relationship beyond the closing of your purchase to make sure that you're in the best situation. You have all the resources so that you and your family can build wealth, sustain net worth, and have a great life. So if you have found value in this video, all I ask is that you please like, comment, and share. If you know anybody that's looking to purchase or sell or refinance, I'd be happy to sit down with them and give them their customized financial plan as well. If any of the resources that I talked about today you can find value in having, please reach out. I'm always happy to share those resources with you. Kristen Cooper, your mortgage planning specialist.